Just start from now. Start from here. And leave people to wonder, what did Jack say this time that was just so unintentionally wrong?
Hello, guys. Welcome back. So here are my dogs. The dogs were requested. This is Lola. She, as I said, she is Possum's replacement, and this is Trousers. I'm going to go back to what I said. He's like my little Labubu doll. He is not for sale, but Lola is for sale for 3 camels. So I'm going to start the bidding now. Who wants this little heckin' dog, okay? There you go. So, you're not going to make another comment again.
I'm not going to make any other joke that I unintentionally made here.
I'm going to tell
They
you
are
guys
dogs.
about my dogs.
You can pet them.
They're happy little chihuahuas.
Yep.
They cry and make a huge scene when I don't let them in this room because they have a little bed in the corner there, in that little closet.
Oh, I see.
And every night, Trousers will go up to the corner of this door while it's closed and just continually bark really loudly.
Nice.
For me to open the door for him,
Nice.
and I don't let that happen. It's not happening, and I'm losing my sanity. I have them for another 3 weeks, and this is not going well. This is telling me don't have kids. If I can't deal with 2 chihuahuas on my own, I don't think I could deal with kids right now, Jack.
So you heard it here, folks. Markey here, he reckons that kids are dogs. He thinks kids are dogs.
What the fuck?
That's what he's saying.
No, I
that
do
is
not.
on the record.
No, not true.
Let the evidence
Don't tell them
show,
that.
Your Honor.
See, these dogs are my kids. It's not. It doesn't go both ways.
Yeah.
Please, Your Honor. No, it's not like that. Okay, I'll put them away. They're going to distract us from the much more entertaining thing, the Reddit stories.
Just locking his kids out like this. Wow. Yeah, he doesn't even toilet train them. You know, one of them keeps peeing on the carpet. That really says a lot about him as a parent. That he...
Stop telling them my secret.
Now, because we're not sponsored by the Servo store that I got this coffee from, you're not gonna get to see what I'm drinking. It is coffee, though.
No free pass. Pay us, mystery company. That no one would be able to know what the label is.
It doesn't even say that.
No one could pause the video and figure it out. No.
Excellent.
Company, pay us, please.
Yeah.
We like money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like dollars. Throw them at me like I'm on a pole dancing for you, but in no suggestive way, only family-friendly ways.
What's a family-friendly
Like
way that
the
someone
Macarena.
dances on a pole?
Yeah.
Of all places,
I'll
the
be on the
Macarena.
pole. I'll have my thighs wrapped around the pole, so I'm sitting and I'm leaning upright on it, and I'm
on it
doing
like
the
this.
Macarena. Yeah, I'll
All
be
right,
wearing I'll be wearing underwear, but like appropriate looking underwear that still leaves a lot to the imagination because it's just that well concealed. Because again, family friendly Macarena.
What? Why would you want to leave more up to the imagination, though? What?
Well,
would it
if
be
I
like
don't
boxes?
if I leave very little to the imagination, that implies that there's a lot of visible things.
Well, I thought we applied at the start of that video 2 videos ago. You know, man. Nah, yours is so much bigger than mine, though. Nah, man, yours is bigger. Well, if you compare it to my wrists.
If you don't understand the context about this, we were talking about something that starts with the letter B. And you're just going to have to find out what that was by watching that previous video where we did introduce our episode with us comparing each other's things that start with B.
And it's not bronchitis, and we do have time for that.
Yeah, we do have time for that. We've been making that a lot. And, just the germs, unfortunately...
What is
we both
bro
got bronchitis.
yapping about? The germs, dude. They're a bit too
yeah.
jammy for me. There he goes again. My son yapping. I'm going to have to... give me a second.
Yeah, he's just going to have to beat his
Guys,
kids, everyone.
close
Just
your
give it a
eyes.
second. Yeah.
I have to deal with this.
Yeah. Okay. Don't. No, please. No, don't do it to me too. No. No, Marcus! Marcus! No! No!
Okay, we're going to pretend none of that happened.
Sure.
None of that happened, Jack. Did any of that happen? No, good boy. None of that happened. See, he's one of my children too.
I'm not one of his children. I'm just his bitch.
What? You said that my kids were dogs, so just wanted to make the record clear on that.
So, circles back to it. Do we want this story to be the start? Or would we like
Make
to...
it the third one. You can
Yeah,
read on the third.
let's make it the third one. Okay. There's just some interesting titles in this.
You'll find out.
Let's start with this one that's far more tame and interesting. Am I the a-hole for getting a new nurse fired for accusing me of having an affair with my father?
What? Hey, what's going on? All right.
There are some great stories that we've had today.
Hear me out. Hear me out, guys.
Hey, Reddit. I am a hospital social worker at a small hospital. My dad is one of the ER day shift charge nurses. A few weeks ago, I was in the ER trying to figure out placement for an elderly patient. When I was leaving, I had a chat with my dad in the hallway. Before I left, he gave me a hug and told me not to be late for dinner. I joked about how I'm going to order the most expensive steak on the menu since it's his turn to pay. I am 27 female. My dad is 51 male. There was a new nurse at the nurses' station nearby. Pretty much everyone knows that he's my dad. I hadn't spoken with this new nurse much, though, and she didn't know. Apparently, she thought my dad and I were having an affair based off what she heard and saw. She knew my dad's married to my mum, who brings him lunch sometimes. So she immediately began gossiping to some of the other staff that my dad is having an affair with the hospital social worker, aka me. One older nurse that I've known for a long time immediately came to tell me. I don't think she liked this new nurse very much. I guess no one decided to tell her that he's my dad. That's interesting. An interesting choice everyone decided to make here, just to not shut this down immediately. Let it fester. Let it really just blow up to this case.
Well, the nurses have a reputation for being very high schooly and cliquey. And everything.
Yeah, I hear about that.
I'm sure there's parts of this where that was by design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate gossipers. I don't know what it is about nurses, but I swear to God, some of them really love to spread rumors. There we go. I decided to not take it up with her, and I just went straight to HR. We were both asked to come to HR after our shift was over, along with my dad. Now, the HR lady knew that he's my father. So when NN came in, so the new nurse, she was asked to explain, and she said that she thinks it's terrible that we would so blatantly have an affair, and she was shocked because she thought my dad seemed like such a nice guy. My dad then decided to speak up and explain that I'm his child. The new nurse was mortified and apologized profusely. The HR lady asked me and my dad to leave. They had a meeting with the unit manager, and it was decided that the new nurse would be fired immediately because she was still in her 90-day probationary period.
Fair enough. Fair enough, guys. The hammer of justice is swift in this case.
My mom thinks I'm a jerk and I should have just brought it up to the nurse instead of bringing it to HR when I knew she would probably get fired. I think my mom is also sympathetic because she stalked the woman's Facebook and she's a single mom or whatever. I think I was right to get her fired because the hospital doesn't need a bunch of nurses sitting on their asses gossiping instead of doing their jobs. My dad is embarrassed and feels awkward about the whole thing. It's not the first time someone had thought I was dating my dad. We aren't weird or anything, but it happens. Anywho, am I the a-hole?
Wait, it's not the first time? Why is this not the... This is really unusual. That is not the first time.
Sometimes I call him daddy out loud and we kiss lips. It's not weird.
What's wrong with kissing my daddy on the lips, guys?
Yeah.
Why would they think that we're dating?
It's just affection. I'm affectionate with my dad. He raised me.
But that's the thing, can you even change the behavior to make people not think that they're dating? Is this a problem with the way that they are affectionate in public? Are people just over-sexualizing things? I don't know.
Yeah. I wonder more, is she the a-hole for going straight to HR about this instead of merely just telling her straight up that, hey...
No, I get that, but I just wanted to go into the relationship a little bit.
Right, with the dad,
before we did it, that's all. But yeah, on to the HR issue thing. No?
Yeah.
you don't want the rumors to circulate throughout the workplace. The smart thing is to get on top of it as high up as you can, as fast as possible. I don't think she's an asshole for that. And I think the mum is incredibly biased here, being like, oh, only because she's a single mother, you shouldn't have done that. I'm like, what if she wasn't a single mother? Would your opinion be different?
Yeah, like being a single mother doesn't give you those kind of privileges to, be an a-hole to other people's own lifestyles. And like, she was creating drama in the workplace that was going to give bad reputation, not to just the OP, but also to her father. And like, especially in those sort of industries, reputation can really go a long way in either lifting you up or destroying you.
Yeah, it creates it's tribalism. And we all know the nursing field is incredibly tribalistic as well, given the reputation they have.
All the high school bullies that go there.
Painting broad strokes here right now, guys. Here I am with my assumptions.
But accurate and absolutely factual about every single nurse out there.
Exactly.
You're all bullies.
And I hate you.
And you don't benefit society.
Keep going, Jack. Keep going. Keep the truth up, dude. This is why they should make male podcasters legal in more countries. No, but I think it will create an us versus them dynamic. We get some tribalism, and all of a sudden, OP gets held back from opportunities of rising up the ranks that she wouldn't have had otherwise. I do believe that that is a potential consequence of not getting on this as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Dispel. But at the same time, would it have spread like wildfire with everyone else knowing that it's her dad?
Yeah, that's where I'm kind of in a case of like, maybe I guess HR was valid still because, hey, that's what HR is for. So there are a lot of comments that are actually saying you're the a-hole. They're not the most supported, though, so that's important to note out. But, hey, still a valid side opinion to look into. So some people says, gossip happens in just about every workplace. And even in cases of harassment, we are taught to deal factually with the person up front initially. Like, hey, don't say or do that because it makes me feel blank. It is when things repeat or continue that the step to HR is taken. You're the a-hole for not telling the new nurse up front. All the nurses who did the same thing by not telling her, also a-holes. Frankly, it wasn't the gossiping that was the main dynamic here, but the mean girl's approach when multiple people all decided not to tell her and to let you or encourage you to run up to HR. And honestly, as a social worker, I would have hoped you would have been a more compassionate person. If this is not the first time this has happened, then maybe you and your father need to adopt a more professional relationship at work. Also, since this wasn't the first time somebody thought you were fooling around with a doctor, why is it that this time you ran off to HR? You don't have to get along with everyone you work with, but it sure sounds to me like you took advantage of the situation to get someone fired that your nurse friends didn't like. Okay, some of that I can actually understand.
I get that, but I feel like that last bit was a stretch.
Yeah, like it is.
There's definitely some, assumptions you have to make or stretches you have to make to arrive to those conclusions.
Yeah. The top comment, though, says, not the a-hole. She didn't just misunderstand. She gossiped about a serious accusation without knowing the facts. In a professional setting, that's unacceptable.
Here, the divide. Why is it okay for her to gossip and not the other nurses to gossip and vice versa? When it comes to that you're the asshole comment.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, it's perfectly fine for this one woman to gossip and then have consequences for it. But it's not okay for all those other nurses to gossip.
See, the thing is, like, I don't understand why. I mean, maybe she, again, as the new nurse, didn't feel like she was allowed to do so, maybe. But, like, if this was something you seriously thought was a negative impact and, like, this was something that's detrimental to the workplace, the new nurse should have gone to HR about this whole affair that she was observing. Instead, she decided to try to, create some drama in the workplace. So I think it's like, on one hand, I can kind of actually understand why some people were saying you're the a-hole because you basically used your power as being someone who already works here a lot. It's like a school kid who, there's a new kid at school. This new kid sees something unfolding and decides to tell some people about it to, like, either get more context themselves about what they saw, and everyone's clearly egging them on and, like, just lying through omission. And so what this OP does is instead of confronting this person to say, hey, just so you know, you totally misinterpreted everything, she goes and tells her teacher that she already has a good rapport with, and that teacher immediately takes her side. instead of like thinking like, well, hey, why didn't you just tell her instead of getting, the authoritarian level involved who has to make an example out of her now instead of just something that could have been resolved like that.
Because it doesn't always work that way.
Yeah, that's the thing. I also do feel with the fact where if she did just tell her off this one time, like, hey, just so you know, you completely misinterpreted this. Don't spread this sort of gossip when you don't even know the full details. All that would do is probably just train this new nurse to not spread the gossip in front of OP.
That's what I'm saying. It creates more gossip.
Yeah.
If anything, she started gossip. What are the chances that OP directly confronting it with her
would have actually
doesn't create more gossip?
Yeah.
I think that in and of itself, that scenario of her confronting her is gossip.
Yeah.
That is going to spread.
Yeah.
Every interaction would be gossip.
I also feel too is that as a nurse, you are over the age of 18. You are aware of what gossip is and how both belittling and unimportant and like unvaluable it is in a workplace. It's childish behavior and you need to be disciplined like one. And if that means having to get fired because you clearly can't be an adult in a workplace that requires adults, then you should get fired for that.
Doing it in your 90-day probationary period. You're supposed to be on your best behavior.
Yeah.
You should actually know better.
Yeah.
It's her fault that she is causing drama during the probationary period. If anything, wait until after the 90 days.
Yeah.
And then do it if you are going to do it. It's her fault. It's her fault she got fired.
That said, she is a single mom, so she is allowed to get away with all of this behavior.
That gives you a pass. You know,
Yeah.
You've seen that meme where it's just like a woman holding like a board out the front, and she's like, "If I'm pregnant, I should be able to go to the front of the coffee line."
Yes.
Every time. You guys don't know what it's like. That.
Somebody nutted in me. Now I have authority.
Exactly. I got my nutted in me card, guys.
Yeah. Hey, if that was the case, then my housemate would be able to get to the front line of every single coffee store they go to.
Man or woman?
Shout out to my housemate.
What gender are we talking about?
Someone who loves the men.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I love them. They're great.
Love you too for keeping this man alive. Jack's housemate.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's that story. That's, pretty cut and dry. Pretty much, I think, the a-hole overall. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Everyone came together in the end.
Yeah, this one's a bit of a two-parter. I did skim through a bit of it just to make sure it wasn't some clear fanfic of sorts, and it seems legit.
I did do this one, but already on my
channel. Okay, I'll read that one then. You go to the next one.
Okay.
I'll come
you
back to
can
that
do that one. I'm gonna skip a few more down.
Oh no!
I'm not doing that one. You can do that one. Okay, I'll rearrange some things just so you can do that one.
Fine.
By Throwaway Fired Girl, titled, "Am I the asshole here for not telling my friend that she was getting fired and that I saved her job, which led to her getting super fired?" What?
Yeah, super
what,
fired.
Super fired.
I spread gossip at the workplace, but I'm a single mom.
That's it, dude. Jack, they're going to roast you for that one, buddy. No. I work with my best friend's girlfriend. Her and I are friendly, but not really friends. If it weren't for her relationship with Jeremy, I would not be friends with her. I told her about the job in question and even put in a good word for her. She wasn't working out. She tried... Sorry.
Bless you.
None of that, but... She tried her best, but she had a personality clash with her supervisor. She was still in the 90-day probationary period, so she was going to be terminated with no notice.
And then she saw a coworker having an affair with an older man.
She's like, I took that personally, and I got super fired. The 90-day probationary strikes again, dude. That's life, really. We regularly hire a bunch of people and keep the good ones and dismiss the ones that can't cut it or aren't a good fit. We actually were getting rid of over a dozen people that day. That's crazy.
Damn.
The team's call comes up. You're fired.
Yeah.
I know that her and Jeremy aren't doing well financially, so I stepped in and volunteered to take her on my team. It was a lateral move for her, so it didn't really... it was a lateral move for her. I didn't really need her, but my boss gives me a lot of freedom in my department. I didn't want to freak her out, so I never told her that she was not working out well on her team. To say the least, I can understand why she didn't work out. She's great at her job and a hard worker, but God almighty, she has a terrible job site personality. Oh, God. She rubs everyone the wrong way, including my supervisor. He actually questioned my decision to transfer her to my team. It's just not a good start. I couldn't protect her from herself. Originally, she was just being terminated, and that was it. She would have been free to apply to the company. Now she is on the nerf list. Not eligible for rehire.
It's nerf or nothing.
Nothing, bro. She really thought the reason that I got her on my team was because we needed her help. She alienated everyone. Again, she's good at the job and incredibly dedicated. She's just a shitty person to work with, and she brings down morale.
Oh, no.
Jesus.
Not morale.
I hate what
They love
morale.
being up on the shelf. Don't take them down.
Yeah, put them back. Put
Yeah,
them
put
back,
him back.
right
He
now.
likes being up there.
Let morale back on, dude. I told Jeremy what happened, and he said he understood, but she's pissed. She said that if I had told her that she was on the chopping block, she would have behaved differently. She said it's kind of my fault for not warning her. I don't know. I feel bad for her, but she kind of dug her own grave. Bro, what do you mean? You're on the chopping block. I would have behaved differently. It's your fault for not warning me. Bro, you're a terrible person. What?
Oh.
If I knew hurting others would hurt me, then I wouldn't have hurt others. You must be the real problem here. She should learn not to be a dick and also not to blame others for her being a dick. Yeah. What's wrong with this woman? I can't deal with her. What?
I would like to wonder why OP didn't maybe bring this up to the friend that, hey, just a heads up, you're coming across as a real dick to your coworkers. Maybe dial it back a little.
No, but OP didn't know that until she was on the team.
Oh, right. Okay,
didn't know
right.
that-
Sorry, I didn't realize that bit.
He only
Okay.
knew that she was being fired. He didn't know why she was being fired.
Oh, okay.
As
okay.
I say, like, I didn't want to freak her out, so I never told her that she was not working out well on her team. All I knew is that she wasn't working out well on the team. To say the least, I can understand why she didn't work out. She's great at her job and a hard worker, yada, yada, yada. And then,
Yeah, I
don't
guess
think he
if
knew
you
why.
don't know, like if you know your friend is a bit of a like coworker to deal with, but you know that they're getting the job done, you would just assume that okay, well she's getting the job done. That must be all they care about in the end. But then you find out that she's getting fired. You're like, oh, okay.
No, I can see where you're coming from with that original one though. Like, I think he should have reached out to her and said no. It seems like at no point in this story did he like approach her and was like, "Yo,
Yeah, I
your
feel like
personality is not good right now."
yeah. I mean, at the same time, I also agree again with that fact that like you are an adult at the workplace. You should have some level of self-reflective or self-awareness to know when you are overstepping in a way. But yeah, I think at the same time too as well. If you were a friend, you'd want to be there for your friends. Like a friend isn't afraid to tell their friend when they're being a piece of schmidt. So yeah, I don't know. I want to know what the comments say.
Yeah.
Like, I'm hoping there's more than just people
yapping.
saying that, like, no, that person is an a-hole and you're not because that's not your responsibility. Like, yeah, okay, it isn't, but, it's not my responsibility to help someone when they're in some sense of danger, but I still want to help them because I kind of care about others too.
But to build on that, I think it potentially was brought up to her. Like, I guess, no, it wasn't, because they said in the probationary period, you can be terminated with no notice. That's life, really.
Yeah.
And they regularly do this to people. He didn't mention it specifically, but you've got to assume that someone came up to her at some point and was like, you need to tone
surely.
it down and chill out.
Surely they would at least because I imagine it must be costly to constantly have to get new people again and again instead of constantly firing people
Depends where you work,
Yeah.
Getting these companies like warehouse jobs.
Yeah, they'll just fire
It's
you
a
after 90
rotating
days.
door.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
I'm guessing I would, if I'm going to put OP in the best light possible, OP brought her onto OP's team, did mention it halfway through, but the behavior never changed. And that doubled down on why she got on the nerf list, the nerf or nothing list.
Yeah.
So, comments by Odd Raccoon. I don't think you're the bad person in this, but I do think you should have told her about her attitude and how she should fix it. I think you should have explained that she needs to have a good attitude in jobs, and if she doesn't choose to take your advice, then she's in the wrong. Getting feedback is what managers are. Getting feedback is what managers are supposed to do. I think giving feedback, right? Not getting.
Yeah.
I'm say getting feedback
Yeah,
is what.
yeah, giving feedback.
What the hell? Plus, she's a friend. Maybe it wouldn't do any good, but I would expect some kind of warning from you. Totally agree. Opie giving her a heads up about how she was coming across could have at least given her the chance to course correct. But in the end, if she wasn't open to hearing it or doing better, then that's on her, not you. You did more than most people would. I'll go a few more, but I want to see if they did post an update or if there's any other comments.
Yeah.
Comments. I'm not managing. I'm not even a supervisor. I'm like a team lead. Not paid. No extra duties. I just keep my guys going. Oh.
Okay.
So they're not even a manager. They don't really have... That's all that they've said besides, I'm not a writer. Sorry for the grammar and syntax.
Right, so they probably weren't even interacting with their friend 90% of the time, aside from just like delegating tasks.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
is it even their job? I guess, it's between like actual obligation on the job and then moral obligation to your friends.
Yeah. I feel like the moral obligation takes precedent here.
Yeah, info. Did anyone tell her that her behavior was unacceptable and give her a chance to fix it? If not, everyone sucks here. How can she know there's a problem if no one tells her? No, based on OP's words. I guess they expected her to read their minds. So that's the thing. Yeah, if they didn't warn her, maybe it's a you're the asshole instead of not the asshole.
Yeah.
If he didn't even get a chance, I understand that people should have more self-awareness, but she should have been given a chance to recognize that what she was doing was unacceptable. Red Shirt Decoy says, so in a 90-day probationary period, no one offered her feedback or corrected her in any way, and you expected her to read your mind? Then she wasn't told why she was moved. You even admit that she had the wrong assumption, yet you still didn't talk to her like an adult. She may have gotten fired regardless, but goddamn, job site feedback is a normal part of the process. If this is real, you are all operating a toxic workplace. If that's how things work, you're the asshole. Yeah, I can get along with that.
Yeah. They made me feel a bit more confident in my opinion that, OP actually was kind of an a-hole. Because, again, it's, obviously this friend is being a dick in the workplace, and that sucks. They're scummy for that. But if no one's telling them any differently, if no one's telling them, hey, it's like that difference between ignorance and arrogance. Like, it seems like this person is more just ignorant rather than, arrogant about their behavior. Mm-hmm. Like, they clearly want to keep this job, but if they knew that what they're doing was wrong, then they clearly had the intention to change. Like, her, upset at OP wasn't that these people just don't get me. It's like, why didn't you tell me I was coming across like this? Mm-hmm. Why didn't you tell me I had no clothes on this entire time? I thought I was wearing clothes. I
was in this dream the whole time. Yeah. And there's a crowd in front of me laughing when I had no clothes on. Why didn't you tell me? I saw clothes, but apparently no one else saw them. What's going on?
Yeah. I think OP's maybe the a-hole.
I think OP is a little bit of the arsehole.
Yeah, it's a little tiny one. Tiny a-hole.
Just tiny little,
Yeah.
I'm not going to add any more descriptors to that.
Okay. I'll read this
Christ.
one. Oh, boy. What a great title. Am I the a-hole for not entertaining a girl who thinks I got her pregnant from fingering? I, 21 male, went on 2 dates with this girl who's 18 female. First date was all right, but I wasn't really feeling her. I tried to end it with a kiss, and she told me she didn't know how to kiss. That turned to me trying to teach her how to kiss. And honestly, I should have known she was a bit too young for me right there. I decided to give it one more shot. A second date, we went to the movies. She decided she wanted to help me out, quote unquote. I finished, I cleaned up, and then I helped her out. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I arrived, and then I helped her out. I am British.
We arrived mutually. Many agreements were vocalized.
And everything was below board.
There were multiple proclamations to our deity. Anyway, that was it. No smecks, no anything beyond that. I thought it was mutual that we weren't super into each other because neither of us reached out after. But a few days ago, she texted me saying her period is 3 weeks late and she's really scared. She even sent me articles saying pregnancy can happen from fingering if there's somehow sperm involved.
See, that's just not. I don't. How would there be sperm involved there? Is he getting his own sperm on his fingers after
He
she's
did
finished?
say that he cleaned up.
Yeah, he used her mouth to clean up before going below board. Like that. Is that what happens here? That's just not at all. Yeah. Whatever, guys.
Now, one, my hands didn't even touch my sperm. And two, sperm cannot survive that long. And that's what I told her. I kind of left it at that. I thought it was pretty freaking funny that she actually thinks that she's pregnant, but now she keeps blowing up my phone. I've honestly started to ignore her. My friends think it's funny, but also say it's kind of messed up that I'm ignoring her while she's scared. I tried to reassure her. I don't know what else I could do. Am I the a-hole?
Yeah, you're an asshole, buddy. No, I don't think he's an asshole.
No, he's being very mature about it. If anything, the fact that he showed... Oh, look, okay. I was going to say, the fact that he shows a lack of care should be reassuring for her, that she should be like, oh, no, I should be relaxing and calm about this because he's not freaking out. But then again, in this situation, you probably have that kind of guy who would just ignore it and try to avoid it because he is scared, so...
That's the thing. I don't think she can read his mind and see if he's either freaking out or if he's like, this is not at all a problem and you're the one freaking out here, mate.
Yeah.
Not me. I don't know. Like, obviously, this isn't a problematic age difference or anything, but it does seem like she just has no experience, no sex ed either. And she's like, oh my God, if I think about sex, can I get pregnant?
Am I pregante?
Am I pregante?
Yeah.
From thinking about sexo?
It's a really good
No way.
I think this is a person who clearly was homeschooled and never actually went to get some sort of sex ed.
Mm-hmm.
A little quick comment from the OP here. So someone asking, was she actually 18 or just saying she was 18? OP says, we attend the same university, and I seriously doubt my mutual friend who introduced us would lie to me about her age as well. She turns 19 in August. So there's some reassurance there, I suppose.
That's good. Yeah.
Some people criticizing OP for getting involved with women that he's not even interested in. They say fair enough. I didn't go into it with bad intentions. I just thought I'd give her another chance, which I think is valid. He was trying to give her another chance. He wasn't like using her.
No. That's the thing. I was like, see it from the start. I did actually touch upon that in my critique. I'm saying, why? I get where you're coming from. You know, it's a very guy thing to do. He's like, I don't really see any potential with her, but, we can probably do something.
Yeah.
Because he didn't even want to kiss her.
Yeah.
He didn't even want to kiss her. None of that was... And then he's like, you know what? A second date sounds sick. Like, and I'm going to get some.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's like, I've been on many dates in situations where I'm like, I'm not fully feeling this person, but I want to give it a chance because maybe I'm just not seeing them from the right perspective yet. And... then there'll be a night where I'm like, actually, wow, this person actually was good. And then I have that, like, post-nut shame of realizing, no, actually.
I was just horny.
Yeah, I was just horny and lonely this week, and now I feel bad. And then it becomes a thing of like, oh, yeah, okay, well, I've got to end this now because it's, actually not as genuine as I thought it was.
It's just wait until the hormones kick in again and be like, why did I end it?
That is
she
why.
was perfect. Why did I end it?
That is why, ladies, if a man is truly into you, he should deal with it before the date. Because then if he turns up, he knows he's turning up because he wants to be with you regardless of if he's desperate to get something out of it.
And he'll kiss you after as well.
Yes.
While you haven't even wiped, he'll kiss you. That's true love.
Yeah. A true man, loves his woman every day of the month. Yeah. Okay. So that was the first bit, but there's an update that was 2 days later.
Yep.
So I took the most popular piece of advice from my original post, and that was to have her take a pregnancy test. I decided to text her back. I apologize.
How nice of him. Sorry.
What an A-class person.
Congratulations,
responding.
you texted back. That's crazy. Yeah.
I apologize for ignoring her. We met up. I bought her 2 pregnancy tests. She took them inside the bathroom of the pharmacy we bought them from. I waited outside the bathroom and let her do her thing. After she was done, she asked me to come inside, and we waited for the results. No, don't do that, man. That's how she will get pregnant.
Don't do that. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Whoa. Pull out. Pull out, brother.
Now we're waiting for the results. It's been almost 10 minutes and the test is still blank. She's looking at the test, wondering why there's no results. Oh no, I think I already know what's happened. And then she's like, I think I took it wrong. I asked what she meant because how do you take a pregnancy test wrong? And she said she forgot to take the white cap off of the part you pee on, I guess. I thought it would be that.
Yeah.
She told me she didn't have to pee anymore and she would just take them when she got home. I said, okay, and I drove her home. 2 hours later, she sent me pictures, and just like I expected, they both came back negative. I responded with, oh, okay, good. And she liked the message, so I think we're on the same page about not communicating anymore. So yeah, she's not pregnant.
Incredibly Zoomer-coded interaction. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I never saw her again, as God intended.
I was too scared to interact with her once more.
It just sounds like he's like so done with her.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm done with all of this, dude. See you in the next lifetime.
Yeah. I think
Peace.
Yes, this is about, like, I was wondering this too for a second. So some people are like laughing at that. Like, yeah, I can't believe she peed on the sticks while they were still capped and proceeded to take them home to pee on them some more. Opie saying, the only thing in my head at that moment was all the comments that were saying she was pretending to be uneducated. I'm a man, but I think even I would have realized I have to take the cap off first. Like, I was wondering if that was going to be the twist too, that she was just playing dumb. So to try and trap some kind of guy who would otherwise think she's too stupid to know any better. And
No, yeah, like that's definitely a thing that was brought up a lot, especially in those first comments in the original post.
Yeah.
She's like, no, she's just playing dumb, she's just being a little ditzy. Don't worry about her, she's not like that, but you wouldn't take the cap off? I don't know. You have to be a pretty, significant, you have to be a pretty good troll, I think, if that's the case.
Yeah.
There's got a lot of trolling going on there. So, yeah, I think OP made the right choice, and I think his experience is very common with a lot of other guys these days. Why'd you go on that second date? You didn't need to go. None of this needed to happen if he just didn't go on that second date.
I just want to highlight all the suggested posts on the right side of the Reddit page here. r/violinists, fingering tips, r/piano, how-to fingerings, r/piano, fingering help, r/cello, rate my fingering.
Whoa. Dude, they got some pretty good fingerers over in those subreddits.
They know their fingering.
Who's the fingering champion?
So, I'm going to read out this highlighted advice, and you got all the rewards for it. Mm-hmm. Another piece of advice.
Pizza advice and fingering.
If you're not into that girl, don't do anything intimate with her unless she is enthusiastically on board and on the same page as you are about not being into you either. Otherwise, you're basically just using a girl as a fleshlight because you assume she's also not into you when she very well might be. Don't assume. You can't read her mind. And if you don't have a conversation with her to absolutely know for sure, don't use girls for gratification. Use her or use your hand or a toy. And OP does respond to this that says, yeah, that was an a-hole move on my part, and I've acknowledged that. I didn't go into it with bad intentions. I asked her on a second date to give her another chance to see if there was something I missed the first time. Although she initiated it, I should have stopped it knowing that I wasn't really into her. Lesson learned, though, think with my head and not my other head.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
smart man.
Yeah, smart.
We'd all be a genius if we stopped listening to that head.
Yeah, like I think it's valid. Like, as much as you could be excited to be in a moment with someone, try to understand where they're coming from with that moment. Like, if her intention with doing that was because she wanted to just have some fun in that moment, sure. But she clearly, I don't know, look, the fact she ended things, quote unquote, like at least with what OP's implying at the end of this post, maybe she was also in the same boat of like, hey, let's see where things go with this second date. Let's have some fun in this moment. But I don't know. Yeah, there's always that thing too where it's like, well, yeah, is she doing this because it's just a fun thing to have in this moment, or is she doing it because she feels like this is an investment into you?
Tough one, actually.
Yeah.
That happens, and it happens both ways.
That said, though, I feel like that also is a bad move on her part, that he shouldn't be responsible for, I guess, what's the word? Monitoring, because I know, like I know people who will do that, where they do things to invest in a relationship by sort of establishing this, like, this is the parameters of, like, we'll do all XYZ within the first few dates, and then that partner is then left to be like, well, wait, hang on, wait, this is what the standard of our relationship was from the get-go, and now all of a sudden we're doing nothing like this anymore? I thought that's what this relationship was. Like,
just intense love bombing from the start.
Yeah, like, this is like she was maybe love bombing unintentionally, though. I'd argue she was unintentionally love bombing, but still, like, if you're going to do this with someone, make sure you are aware that that's the precedent you're setting in the relationship. That, like, you know, if you find intimacy to be something that's far more, I guess, what's the word, sacred?
Yeah, sacred.
Yeah, sacred.
Yeah, more of a priority to you.
Yeah. Like, you know, maybe don't make it something that seems like a second date level thing, unless you're happy with that sort of being the
precedent set in the relationship.
Yeah. Like if
the standard.
If hooking up is as normal to you in a relationship as just cuddling up to watch a movie for a night, you know, go for it. But just understand, maybe make sure your partner's also aware of that too,
because they can feel like they're hoodwinked later on.
Yeah. I think that's very common in a lot of guys in some relationships, where some girls will sort of jump into bed with them, not so much because she actually wants to, but because she feels like she needs to get him interested
and to keep him around.
Yeah, and then he mistakes this as, oh, she's really into me just as much as I am into her, and then, you know, a few weeks into the relationship or a month or two, things suddenly become far less.
Down too,
yeah, and he thinks that, like, you know, nothing's like she's no longer attracted to him, all that kind of shit, but it's more like she's just actually lost the steam because she's kind of exhausted of having to keep this up, that she wasn't genuinely at that level.
Yeah, she's settling back into a norm for her.
Yeah.
And it's like a libido mismatch.
Yeah. Because, like, I know there's like this psychology thing that was spreading around a while ago, where it's like there's like a 3-month window in relationships where that's the real test of if it's going to last or not. Because after 3 months, people sort of give up on trying anymore with their partners.
It's
and
like
things.
the honeymoon phase, right?
Yeah.
Once
After like the honeymoon
away.
phase, and like I can understand that, and I think it's not so much a thing where everyone just naturally gives up. It's more like I think people just stop putting on a facade.
The mask drops.
Yeah, the mask drops.
The mask drops.
Yeah,
your real self comes out more.
Yeah.
Your comfortable self, where you don't have to have an act, because you're like, well, I'm comfortable now. I don't think they're going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I can be more me. I don't have to continue a charade.
Yeah. I think that's like, if you're that kind of person, maybe check what your mask is, because you might unintentionally have one yourselves. I say that as someone who definitely did have a mask for themselves for a while, where they're like, I would think my precedent need to be to just, I would always shout the first dinners and every single date. And it's like, no, I don't need to actually. I like, if someone once actually likes my company and enjoys my company, I shouldn't have to pay for everything for them to find me a worthwhile person to date and hang out with.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And, like, you know, save your money for people who are actually worth investing your money into as a date, rather than every single person you date as a,
because there's definitely people out there that will go on a date, suggest somewhere really expensive, just because they want a free lunch at this really expensive place.
Yeah. Or like even even some guys will do that, where they'll shout that place because they think that's what'll get her, when you're just setting a precedent. All you're doing is setting her to think that, oh, this guy believes this is a first date idea, where it's a luscious restaurant that's very expensive. That must be his norm. Then, and you know, that for her,
she's expecting that.
Yeah, she's expecting that norm. And it's like, well, no, actually, he was only doing that because he thought that's what he needed to do. When I'm sure if he just went to someone that was far less expensive, but just, you know, his company should be enough to be just as good, you know?
That's the thing. It depends on the communication level that you two have. Because that can be communicated through fairly easily, being like, I just wanted to treat you, but this is not a standard thing for me. But I see so much potential that I think this is a very good place to start and set the scene.
Yeah.
And after this, we shouldn't expect that. It depends. Some people are not as comfortable with that level of communication.
Yeah. Apparently it's becoming a bit more the norm now, though, where people are being very blunt about their sort of expectations on the first date stuff. But
I think it's because of stuff like this becoming more common.
Yeah.
That people are breaking down barriers.
Yeah, it's just far less exhausting just to be straight up.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we wouldn't know, though, because neither of us have dated anyone.
No, ever, dude. Yeah. I've always
We're
been...
virgins.
Virgin Mary right here, guys.
Yeah.
Virgin Markee.
Yeah.
Who wants to be the first? Not you, please. Not again. No.
They cut to here.
Okay. Next episode.
Yep.
Okay, by Horrorthorn, titled, Am I the asshole for saying my special birthday dinners aren't special for me and I don't want them anymore? Oh, this is so sad.
Aww.
For years, my mum and stepdad have only eaten out or gotten takeout from one place because of my step-siblings' allergies. Both have an allergy to peanuts and other kind of nuts.
Oh, no.
My stepbrother, 11, has a dairy allergy, and my stepsister, 12, has a seafood/shellfish allergy.
Oh,
She's just
jeez.
like me, for real. Their allergies were diagnosed around the time that my mum met my stepdad. When we all moved in together, it became an allergen-free zone. I, 16 male, was 7 at the time. It didn't bother me too much until I realized how strict they'd be about it. Even though my stepbrother could be around dairy, I wasn't allowed ice cream or any chocolate that had milk in it.
Oh.
Tough one, that. God. Sentence worse than death. I couldn't eat pizza either because of the cheese. Who's lactose intolerant here? It's just all allergens? That feels like crazy.
Yeah,
it's only a peanut and shellfish.
This sounds like a case of parents who didn't they didn't actually do proper research on all this, and they just assumed the worst.
Yeah, they're like,
and,
well,
like,
the allergy...
they're too lazy to monitor it to the point they're like, let's just ban everything, because that way then we don't have to think about it.
True, scorched earth.
Yeah, scorched
That's
earth.
the way to go.
Yeah.
So then my parents found a restaurant that had no nuts or shellfish or dairy, and they decided that we'd never eat or order takeout from anywhere else. Yeah, I'm beginning to see that the strategy is implemented. It's kind of vegan, but not strictly vegan, I don't think. I don't like their food. It all tastes weird to me. They don't even have regular fries on the menu. It's either another vegetable used as fries or sweet potatoes, which I hate.
Oh, no. Sweet potatoes are amazing. I'm so sorry you're someone who hates them.
Yeah, but I guess they have like the zucchini fries. That,
I mean, they're not bad.
They're not the worst, but yeah, I can see.
Still, look, if you're someone who's grown up without getting to experience things like chocolate and ice cream, you're very valid to be upset about this.
Yeah, have to get the zucchini fries instead.
Yeah.
You know, if you hate sweet potatoes, that makes it even worse because sweet potatoes are great.
They're amazing.
OP says, I hate eating out, not me, though, or ordering takeout because of it. And for years,
God damn it.
we've celebrated all our birthdays there with family. I found other nut-free restaurants that had allergy-safe menus, but my parents wouldn't even look at the menu.
You just had to make that comment. You just had to.
Whenever I asked if we could order from other different places for my birthday, they would say no. They said that we always get takeout from there, and that's where we will always get our food. A few times they said that it's too much work to try out new places when we have it easy with our choice. God, these people suck. My special birthday dinner never feels special because I can't eat anything that I like. For a few birthdays, I was grumpy and withdrawn when we would eat there, and my mum would tell me to change my attitude and appreciate what I have and the family that I get a special dinner for my birthday. What the... Fair enough, that not all families could afford to eat out for their birthdays every year. Last year, when I turned 15, I got into a fight with my mom when I told her that my birthday dinner should be something that I like, and I didn't want to eat that nasty food anymore. Mum said that was such a disrespectful thing to say, and what about my step-siblings? What are they supposed to do if we go somewhere else? I said other than nuts, they can be around dairy or shellfish, and they're around all of that stuff out in the wild, so why do I have to be punished because of their allergies? My stepdad told me that to watch how I spoke because it would hurt my step-siblings' feelings and his, because he'd like to think of us being a family and able to eat together, and being able to eat together was enough. Bro, these people suck at the minimization. 2 more paragraphs. When we got to the restaurant, I was miserable, and they kept correcting me for looking angrier than usual. Correcting you. Hey, that's wrong. Hey, be happy. No, mistake. Happy boy. Come on. Good boy. That's a correct boy. Look at him. Isn't he so cute? Wow. The frumpiness of him is so adorable. He's a correct little man. After that, I swore I wouldn't do it anymore. So a couple of months ago, before my birthday last week, I told them that I didn't want a special dinner or meal with the family, and I was done with eating as a family for my birthdays and for anything else like my graduation. I told them that it's not special for me, and I hate it, and I don't like the food, and I'd rather ignore my birthday than that. They tried to plan a birthday dinner anyway, but nobody showed since the rest of the family knew how I felt. My parents are angry that I'm being this way, and my mum tried to make it about the step thing when this would be annoying even if it was just me and her. Who wants to eat shit they don't like on their birthday? Like, seriously. Am I the arsehole? Honestly, not the arsehole.
Yeah, it's hard to see how OP here could be the a-hole when they've been tolerating this for years, and one day out of the year, they're just simply asking to actually have what they want, of which it's... The OP mentions that apparently they are living a life normally outside of the house, where they're exposed into a world that has peanuts and shellfish around them, and they're not dead yet. No. So I really have to wonder how serious these allergies are, if they're the level... Like, they clearly don't seem to be the level where they literally can't be around people who breathe out after eating a peanut butter sandwich. This seems to be the case where they can't consume it. Like...
That's the thing. Usually with peanut butter allergies, you kind of have to assume the worst. But definitely for seafood, shellfish allergies, it's just when they eat it. You can come into contact with it and you'll be fine.
Right.
Don't know if that's the same for peanut allergies. I think contact can mess you up.
Right, okay.
But yeah, in the comments, Hoplite says, not the arsehole. Allergies can be incredibly dangerous, but there are ways to let other people live around those allergies. Your parents have instituted this policy out of laziness or fear. Probably both, but more laziness in my opinion, and are upset that you're calling them out because they don't want to feel bad about being lazy and cowardly. They also don't like that other people now know about it. You're not responsible for their feelings, and they've ruined enough. OP replies, I think their laziness is a big part of it, honestly, because I did the work for them, and they wouldn't even read or consider it. Yeah, laziness at this point.
Yeah, like, because, OP's gone out of the way to actually give some alternate ideas, and it's... All they have to do is just say yeah. And, like, even the whole idea of, like, oh, what are your siblings going to be able to have then? It's like, well, they can have what they always have.
Yeah.
Just from somewhere else. Get takeout from somewhere else.
And make sure that the allergies are dealt with from another place.
Yeah.
Not hospitals, restaurants are more than willing to work with you on that. They love getting business. They like money.
Yeah.
They will make sure that the allergies are not in it as long as they get money.
Jesus.
Yeah, I think it's just these parents are incredibly unreasonable. I see why OP is so pissed off because every step of the way he's minimized.
Yeah.
And he's like, stop making it about you. I have to correct your behavior. And I'm not going to ask you about it. I'm not going to come to a reasonable compromise. I'm not going to communicate with you. Yeah. You're going to sit down and shut up and take it like a good boy. You know, it's like that. Yeah, hey, yo.
That's not the time for our bedroom talk.
No, okay. We'll keep it to the bedroom after this, okay?
Yeah.
But yeah, another commenter. Not the arsehole. Your mum should take you out for a meal at a restaurant of your choice. That's not too much to ask, and your step-siblings should understand. They probably wish they could try another restaurant and might speak up more as they get older. OP says, my step-siblings are happy with the way that the things are. They might get jealous eventually because we had issues with that when I went to other places with friends or my dad's side of the family. It's too much to ask if you're my mom. Oh, it's too much to ask if you're my mom. She doesn't think that it's right to exclude some of the family for a celebration dinner. I get that, but bro, she keeps excluding him.
Yeah.
This whole time, she's only been thinking about the step-siblings and never about her own son.
She's mistaking for this idea that, like, just because OP is a part of the family having this takeout, that he feels a part of the family. Like,
yeah, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, forcing a child to go along with something that you do with the rest of your family doesn't mean that child feels connected and heard and supported and a part of your family. You know, like, if you force a child, like, if you force your kid to come along to some event every single day of the week, that child's just gonna feel forced to come along. It's not gonna feel like they're a part of a family.
Yeah. And then the child can't even speak up. The child has a bad attitude because of your conditioning. And on top of that, then you correct the child. You're like, don't even show a bad face.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to show that you're upset.
Yeah.
You're going to be happy, okay? That's crazy.
I
think it's bad parenting.
An even better example is like when like work forces you to go to some sort of work event. Like just because you're there doesn't mean you like going there and that you like being a part of this event at work because work told you and forced you to go. Like
And they're paying you to be there.
Yeah.
What a smile on that dial.
Yeah, you're getting paid to be there and you work at this place. So you must love having to go along to this HR meeting.
So you will be happy.
Yeah.
Okay?
You are fulfilled.
Forced Teams meeting, 5 a.m. and then on site right now.
Yeah, and at least 5 meetings today that could have just been a simple email. And if you weren't happy, you would have just quit. So clearly you're happy to be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good boy. Yeah, you keep staying at that job.
Not outside
No,
the
honey.
bedroom.
Okay, I'll say what I want. Stop minimizing me, Dad. I will do whatever I want.
Back onto the opening of this story. That's very mild, very chill, nothing intense about the name of this story at all.
Not at all, guys. This is a fun story to end on.
Yeah, family-friendly one. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to bring my daughter to the July 4th celebration tomorrow because my sister-in-law's boyfriend is a SMEX offender? My sister-in-law is 29
Perfectly
female.
reasonable.
Yeah. Her boyfriend is 25 male. She started dating him in March, and we didn't find out about him being on the registry until late May, so about 2 months after them dating. My sister-in-law told us about it, and why she doesn't want to break up with him was because it happened a long time ago. 3 years ago, exactly. I'm not going to go into full detail about what he did, but all I'm going to say is it was related to a teenager who was drugged and raped.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think you should even be dating someone like that.
Yeah.
You're going to question how normal this daughter is to be dating someone like that.
As much as I'm all for the whole, people deserve a thing of like, what's the word?
Redemption, second chance,
Redemption,
rehabilitation.
things like, yeah. That should only be given once they've proven efforts and progress in redeeming themselves. Like, it's one thing to say, oh, I did this thing a few years ago. Okay, that's not really as important right now as what you've done to assure us that you're not that kind of person anymore. Like, especially when it's something as deeply devastating and disgusting as this. This is...
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah,
That's
this
bad
like you should
business.
be volunteering to take a sense of celibacy for the next few years of your life to assure yourself and others that you're not someone who would resort to this behavior just to get a fix. Anyway,
Or as a lot do, they just go join the military.
yeah. Okay, so my daughter is around the same age as she was, the victim, 16. I am not comfortable with having her around him after finding out this information, so I decided I don't want her going to this celebration. Instead, I will probably take her to a public fireworks show, or if she wants to stay home, that's her choice too. But my husband is angry at me. Jesus Christ, it's your own freaking daughter, dude.
Why is he? Yeah, what's going
He
on there?
thinks she should be allowed to make her own decision regarding the family celebration. Okay, all right. So this isn't so much the husband not liking that she's not going, but that she's not getting the autonomy to decide herself. He also thinks... Okay, wait, hang on. He also thinks that because sister-in-law's boyfriend's actions happened a while ago, he likely isn't like that anymore. He still
don't
keeps
know
trying
that.
to guilt me into going, yeah, what?
He's got bad fatherly instincts. I'm just gonna put that
Yeah,
out
this
there.
is a guy who clearly either doesn't want to deal with the what's the word, the having to face this like reality that his daughter might be around someone who could be a predator, or he genuinely is so blindly ignorant to the whole situation.
Yeah,
That's crazy. I mean, as these comments say at the top here, Jumpy Butterscotch says 3 years ago is a long time ago for drugging and raping a minor. How is this guy not in jail? Like, that's a valid point. How is that sort of thing not getting you like more
Serious
than 3
jail
years in
time.
jail? Yeah, that's
is he already out of jail? Like he's not been rehabilitated properly enough.
no way.
I don't think that's. Did he even serve any time? Was this all just like out of court? It didn't even get reported.
That's what I'm wondering here. Yeah, so
Is he a registered offender or he's not even registered?
apparently he is on the registry. Like, that's how they found out.
Okay.
Yeah, it comments here, Revolutionary Diet says that, like, yeah, if he was convicted and was on the registry, he is more likely than not allowed to be around girls your daughter's age anyway. Tell your husband an offender only needs a few seconds to make someone their next victim. I am speaking from experience. I was victimized only a few feet away from family members. Yeah, I'm kind of confused as to how, like, yeah, okay, yeah, I mean, here, Garden Hobbit has a great little thing here that I reckon this is where the husband is trying to come from with this. That like, oh, it was probably just a mistake he made when he was younger, 3 years ago. He didn't realize that she was so young, blah, blah, blah.
Imagine he throws up, everyone makes mistakes like this, Oh
my God.
We've all been there, brother.
Now, oops, I've accidentally divorced you. Oh, I made a mistake too,
what
sweetie.
What a mistake. That was crazy marrying you.
Yeah. So, okay, they say, not the a-hole, and what the actual F is wrong with your husband. This isn't, oops, I was 18 and kissed a 15-year-old I thought was legal. That's still not okay, but a bit more understandable. This man literally drugged and did the worst to a girl of nearly the same age as your daughter. Your husband is being disgusting for wanting to expose your daughter to a violent predator. Is he really more concerned with upsetting his sister than protecting his daughter? Because we both know that's what this is about. Like, yeah, I'm going to quickly see if there's any comments from OP that might go in a bit more detail, maybe. It just seems insane that, like, again, 3 years ago and all you got is just put on the registry?
Yeah, it's nothing. That's really not enough time at all.
Yeah.
I think he deserves much longer for such a serious offense as that. And especially, like, 3 years since that has occurred, I don't think that's enough time for him to have seriously changed as a person that you can trust him enough. Like, got to be more time, put up boundaries, keep him away, and have some serious talks with that girl dating him to be like, is he really worth it? Is this who you really want to be with? Let's be real for now.
Yeah. I'm not finding any comments from OP about this, like going into more detail. Yeah, that's
it's not an easy one. It's
tough. Like it seems so pretty cut and dry anyway, but like surely there must be more to this than, again, 3 years ago and not under anything more than a registry? Like, what?
It happens. It's unfortunate. These things occur. Some people do
25.
just get...
So this would have happened when he was 22.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's insane.
I don't think... I didn't change so much from 22 to 25. I don't think it's possible.
God,
in that time, no.
No way.
It's not it's not like, oh, my frontal lobe is now developed, and then absolutely not. That is... I get where the mum's coming from. Not the asshole. He should not be at that event. He should not even be within the vicinity of the sister, the daughter.
Yeah.
I think all of this is crazy, so I'm happy to put it to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Keep it
again,
where it's at.
It's one thing to, like, to get into a relationship of some kind, of like some hookup event with someone who was underage, that kind of thing. This was, like, drugging and then doing an act with someone who was in a drugged state where, like, and that's not even the full detail either, as Opie says. And, like, those two things really require a lot of purposeful intention. Yeah. Like, you don't accidentally or just, like, get sort of a crazy circumstance where you've unintentionally done all these things to this person. That's, yeah, that's weird.
It's got gravity to it because of the intent.
Yeah.
And that's where he's found himself on the registry because, without, beyond a reasonable doubt, they were able to put this down on him because of the seriousness of it all.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm with OP. This is an ultimatum-worthy situation, personally. I think this is a hill worth dying on. Yeah. To be like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. I'm interested in this age difference, too, that the sister-in-law is actually older than this boyfriend. So she's 29, he's 25. Like, why would she be into a man who clearly has evidence of wanting to literally drug and abuse women that are, like...
much younger.
Yeah, that are teens.
Don't know.
Yeah, that's weird.
We can dive into the psychology all we want to, but
yeah,
wait until we have a female psychologist of some sort on the show, and then we can dive deep into where the thought processes might be coming from.
Yeah.
When we have an actual expert that is certified.
For now, we'll have, the qualifications of two white men who are just shooting bland opinions. Yeah.
We just be firing it off, guys.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Pew, pew, pew.
Let me just say something that will annoy someone.
Yeah, okay. We'll just go straight to the next story then. Would you like to read the next one now?
Absolutely.
Yeah. This one's
Alrighty.
a bit more comfortable to read.
By Skrutta 5 Karata, titled
I'm in the ghetto. Skratata.
Gratata. Am I the asshole for loading kids up on sugar at my 6-year-old son's birthday party when the other parents just dropped them off?
Hello, kids. Have some sugar. Yeah!
I shoved it down their throat. Eat the sugar.
Eat the sugar.
This past weekend, we hosted a birthday party for my son, male 6. Standard setup, park location, party games, balloons, snacks, and cake. We had some cookies, lollies, and drinks available. Water, juice, and yes, Coke. My kind of party.
Yeah.
Pretty normal stuff for a kid's party.
Love some Coke at a kid's party.
Yeah, nothing extreme there. Here's the thing. Most parents just dropped their kids off and left. Some didn't even say hi or check in. They just handed the kids over and took off. Again, I don't mind hosting, but if you're not going to stay, then I'd assume that you just trust what's on offer. Now, a couple of the same parents are complaining, apparently, that we loaded their kids with sugar and gave them Coke. What's illegal about that? What? One mum said that her kid was bouncing off the walls and that we were irresponsible. But here's what gets me.
He gave them an equal amount of portions each, you know. He gave them a little, like, rolled up
One
a $100
bump.
note and was like, go ahead, kids.
Here's your line.
Yeah.
Everyone
Jimmy,
get it.
that's your line. No, don't take 2 lines,
Everyone
buddy.
in a line for a line. Okay? Here's what gets me. Every kid who was offered Coke said they were allowed to have it. See? They're allowed to have it, Jack. What's the problem? No one mentioned any restrictions, allergies, or preferences. Meanwhile, my own son doesn't like fizzy drinks or juice. He only drinks water or milk. So it's not like I was pushing anything on him or anyone else. The food and drinks were just there, help yourself style. If someone had mentioned that their kid wasn't allowed soft drink, I would have absolutely respected that, but I can't read minds. And if you don't stay at the party or say anything about dietary restrictions, can you really be upset afterward?
That's a poor excuse. You should be able to read minds.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Come
So
on.
am I the asshole for not micromanaging what the other kids ate and drank at a party where their own parents were not even present? Yeah, what? Why are you just dumping your kids like
Yeah.
that? How irresponsible of these people. And it's like, get out, you little shit.
I think I want to make the one scientific fact that was proven a long time ago that it's actually not sugar that makes kids hyperactive and like all bouncing off the walls. It's literally just fuel in general, like calories. You give kids a bunch of calories, they're going to burn the calories. You can give kids a bunch of bread and they will bounce around the walls just as much because they're kids.
Yeah,
that's what
bread.
happens.
Bread.
No matter how much my mom wants to tell me that it's the sugar when these kids have the sugar they go all bounce the walls. No, mom, it's because the kids' parties that you sometimes work around because they're eating food. That's what happens. They're kids. Oh God.
And mine thought it was the red stuff in the raspberry Slurpees.
Yeah.
It's like it's the red coloring in the raspberry Slurpees that makes you go crazy.
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
the Coke Slurpee, but not the raspberry Slurpee, okay? And that was the difference maker.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Oh man,
But, just a
It's just
conspiracy
like,
theory.
Wow, the sugar, these things that have a lot of carbs and stuff in them, but also having less calories means that kids can have a lot of them without feeling as full, and they're suddenly going to have a lot more energy. Who would have thought? It's almost as if that's entirely what energy drinks do to people.
No way.
Whoa.
Start your kids on Monster Energy early, guys. Get them numb to it before the effects, before they get addicted. But yeah, in the comments here, professional try, not the arsehole. If parents leave without instructions, they are assuming that their child had personal responsibility for their own rules. It's not your fault if their child didn't do this, or as I'm assuming, was too young to be left with this responsibility from their parents. Which, yeah, what age can you assume the kid has enough responsibility to look after himself? Because I know
Yeah, that's a good point.
it wasn't until I was like 12 or 13 where I was capable enough. I was the most incapable child. We did like this holiday where we went to the Grand Ole Opry in America.
Yeah.
And I was given some money to go to the arcade there. I was given like $50 USD in like, I don't know, how old was I? Like 8 or 9. So it would have been like 2005 or 6.
Yeah.
You know, the economy's booming, guys, before the great crash comes. And I just like left it on a game and like walked away. I didn't even cash it in or anything. Mum just gave me the $50 and was like, go on. Go ahead. You go play at the arcade. You'll be fine. I just put it down somewhere in the arcade and walked away because I was just like looking at all the arcades. And then someone obviously took the $50. And then I went back to Mom. I was like, I lost the money. And she's like, here's $10. Don't do it again. And I went and did it again. Like, I wasn't responsible. I need a parent with me to make sure that I do the right thing.
My equivalency was when I was probably like 7 or so years old. I was getting close to Christmas, and I wanted this Digimon toy. I wanted that so badly as an early Christmas present, some like a little shopping money. And my dad's like, son, if you wait the next day, the prices will be even cheaper because they get cheaper as it gets closer to Christmas. And I was like, no, I want it now. I want it now. I don't care. I want it now. And he's like, but if you just wait one day, like we'll go and we'll have dinner, come back here tomorrow morning. We're going to be here tomorrow morning. I was like, no, I want it now. And I got it now. And then I went back there the next day and I saw it was like $20 cheaper.
Oh, no.
Like back then, like $20 cheaper. Oh my God. Yeah, that was stupid of me. Another stupid thing of me was I went to, when I was like 9 years old, and we went to Movie World here in the Gold Coast.
Yo!
I was living all the way up in far north Queensland at the time, so it was a real trip to come down to the Gold Coast. And I went to Movie World. And, Movie World has, like, there's characters and costumes roaming around. There's, like, multiple rides and stuff to go on. There's, a bunch of shows to see that happen at different times of the day.
Absolutely.
I refused to see any of them. I consistently, purposefully went on the same kids' Looney Tunes coaster.
Sick.
For 4 hours straight.
What the fuck, Jack?
I kept going on it again and again. Because that's all I wanted to do. I was too scared of the big roller coasters. Too scared. But that Looney Tunes one, I was confident on that one. I kept lining up. I kept lining up again and again. Meanwhile, my sister and my cousin and stuff all got photos of all like the character costumes. Like when we went Movie World that day, there was no photos of me with the family. It was just them. Because I refused to hang out with them. I was like, no, I'm going on this by myself. I'm just going to keep going here. I don't care.
He's autistically going on it again. Where is Jack? Where is Jack?
I'm sure my parents thought I had some level of autism that day. Just
Again.
It's not even a good coaster. No. It's very bland and basic. Like, it's intense for a 6-year-old. Oh, man.
Now, I was thinking there's been some like absolute bangers that I'd go on again and again and again. But back then, for Movie World, the only good one was the Scooby-Doo roller coaster.
Oh, yeah. I was scared of that one when I was a kid.
I did that so many times.
I closed my eyes at the haunted bit, but I enjoyed the backwards part and the laser show bit. That was fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But there was definitely times where I'd done like a 2 or 3 hour session of just repeatedly going back on it. Because it's that good.
Yeah.
Cinema. And now they're redoing it, so I'm keen to see.
Oh, are they? Oh.
Yeah, it's under maintenance because it's being completely revamped.
Ooh,
yeah, it's kind of sick, guys. But there was another one. There's this completely wooden roller coaster at Knott's Berry Farm in America. And me and my sister just spent like 3 hours just continuously going back on that. And I'm sure some people watching this have been to Knott's Berry Farm in California. That wooden roller coaster is so sick. It's like the one at SeaWorld right now.
Oh, yeah. The
It's like
Poseidon
that.
thing.
Poseidon one.
Yeah.
It's just like bigger and just longer and uncut. No.
Is it bigger than ours, though?
Hell yeah. No.
No, it's not.
Wooden roller coaster, Knott's Berry Farm. Sorry, guys. I just got to do it for the nostalgia. Is it even still there? The Ghost Rider. 2024. It's still there. It's still there. It is the Ghost Rider.
Oh, the Ghost Rider.
Yeah, dude.
It's like the Ghost Rider that was at Luna Park, but there was like a fire because of possible local mafia boss intervention sabotaging it, and it caused a bunch of people to die. literally around the part of the ghost ride where it's all these flames and stuff that shoot out.
Oh,
Yeah, and the
why
people
would there
couldn't
be
escape.
flames on a wooden roller coaster?
No, it wasn't a wooden roller coaster,
Okay.
but it was called like the Ghost Train or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty dark and scary, sort of like a tale. If you look back on it,
Yeah.
check it out. It's
Whoa, haunted
yeah.
rides in Australia.
you know, because there's like I think it was like right near the part where all, like the skeletons are or something like that. So as they were dying, they were literally watching skeletons staring down at them, and
that's
flame decals
lovely.
and stuff all around them.
Christ.
Yeah, it's like the whole circumstances is very grim.
Yeah.
With that said, yeah, let's look at this one roller coaster.
Scary. Hell yeah. This looks like a fun one. We'll do this one as the last one, hey?
Okay.
Love this. Forum.
Am I the a-hole for reporting threats made by my husband's kids and their mum to CPS and then leaving because I'm pregnant? It's a lot in the title.
Yes. Yes, you are.
I, 30 female, have been married for the last 2 years and together with my husband, 33 male, for a little over 4.5 years. He's divorced with 2 children, 11 and 13, with his ex. I was not the other woman. They were not married when I met him and had been divorced for at least 3 years by that point. But the ex was very difficult once I moved in with my husband. It was something that could be managed by reducing contact back then, but she made it clear that she didn't want her kids to have a stepmom, and she did voice to the kids that she did not want them to like or respect me.
What's wrong with people like that? Do they not want their kids to be happy?
Of course not,
Is
because
she
their
jealous?
lives they're the main character of their kids' lives.
But is it like coming from a place where they're like, I'm the only mom that can be in their life?
Yeah.
And it's not even like, I'm going to get back with my ex. It's like he's not allowed to be happy.
Yeah, it's they made having kids their entire purpose and personality.
Just hate that so much.
It's such a self-destructive thing too, because they seem to then forget the fact that their kids are human beings that have ambitions and lives and personal desires and dreams and things like that. And so when those kids will eventually have the audacity to move further away from their mum, suddenly it's like, oh, well, you must be an ungrateful child then for anything that I don't approve of, and that kind of crap.
But it's like entirely delusional because
Oh, yeah.
that phase of their life is a flash in the pan. It goes by so quick. It is a very quick thing.
Yeah.
Until they're like pretty much adults. And you know, you spend the majority of your life and their life as adults with them. And you're just completely destroying that in those those early years.
Yeah.
For nothing. I
Yeah.
don't know. Sorry, yapping, but like, yeah, go.
No,
go.
it's valid. So, okay, they did not want. She did not want them to like or respect me. It didn't work right away, and we got along well at the start. But a few weeks after our wedding, there was a very clear change in the relationship. It wasn't unmanageable, and we went to therapy together to try to make things work well, like they had previously. But things changed for the worst when I became pregnant. We told the kids, and they became angry. They told their mom, and she became angry. And then the kids were aggressive in speaking to me. There was a lot of frick you and frick off and get the frick out of here from them. I was called names. I was told to get an abortion by the 13-year-old.
What the?
My husband was speaking to his kids and punishing them when needed, but it got worse. And then the kids showed me texts between them and their mom where there were threats to me and my unborn child, which turned into them threatening to make sure I didn't give birth.
She needs to be institutionalized.
this is
this woman
insane.
needs to be institutionalized, for real.
They were serious enough that I had to call my husband home from work early because the kids were acting like they might just follow through. He disciplined them, and he told me that I shouldn't worry because they won't really do it. I told him I wasn't sure about that, and he told me he wouldn't let anything happen. But it almost did. The 11-year-old attempted to make the threats a reality. I told my husband I was not putting myself or our baby at risk. He told me it wouldn't happen again, and he'd be dealing with it all around, but he had no answer as to what he could do. Not even to say the kids would never be left with just me, and then more threats came as we were fighting about it. I told him I was not taking the chances with my baby. I made a report to CPS, and then I moved out of the house I share with my husband, and I moved in with my parents. This is all very recent, but the CPS investigation is taking this seriously from what I can tell. My husband has reached out to me and he expressed how hurt and angry he was that I took it this far.
No.
His parents have also done the same. They told me I took it too far, and I could have worked with my husband to make this safer for me. She was, though!
She did. She worked with them. She did the only reasonable thing that you can do in a situation like this.
She wasn't trying to overstep as her, like, authority as a parent over these kids. She knew she was a stepmom, that, like, she...
So she stepped out.
Yeah.
No kidding.
I feel like I gave it a chance, but he was far too blasé about it, especially after the attempt. But maybe I'm overreacting and I'm here to be told if that's true or not. I only want to keep my baby safe. Am I the a-hole? Like, I think this is totally valid of her, and I'm especially not surprised that one of the kids actually attempted on these threats, because at this age, this is the age where they do attempt these sort of things because they don't know the consequences yet. Like, they don't know they're not exposed yet to how serious these things can be. They're still at that age where they think this is more a fun joke.
And they're just doing what their mum did. They trust their mum.
Yeah.
You know, if mum told me to do it, I'm going to do it. Mum says jump, I say how high. Like, they think that it's not that serious. If they just take their mum's advice, they do what they're going to make their mum happy, and there's not going to be consequences for them, because if anything, mum's going to get in trouble for it because mum made them do it. But, this story is very similar to one that I saw, I think, maybe a year ago now, or maybe a few months ago. But in this case, the child doing it was like 5 or 6 years old and had actually hit the woman's stomach. And then the other parent got really mad that the pregnant woman had instead held the child and like trying to keep the child away from them after the child had like hit their stomach. And then they're like, okay, now I'm leaving to like my parents' house to get away from this child who has assaulted me, to keep my baby safe and everything.
Wow.
And it didn't happen in this story, but all the sequence of events are pretty much the same as that. And it's like, husband has to grow a spine. He has to grow a fucking spine and put some consequences on these kids for it. There has to be legal consequences for the kids or at least for the ex-wife who is goading this on, who is going to cause something serious to happen in real life. She is doing serious parental alienation. Something has to happen. Something has to change. Otherwise, if the husband keeps enabling it, keeps allowing all these people to disrespect OP in this situation, really feels like there's a divorce on the way. A second divorce that he will have caused because he hasn't learned his lesson.
Yeah. In more detail here from some people in the comments, someone wonders, like, okay, what was this attempt made by the 11-year-old? Opie said in another comment, this is from someone named Sarcastic Azalea Rose. They say, Opie said in another comment...
normal Azalea Rose?
They said that the 11-year-old tried to push her down the stairs.
Yeah, that part for the course.
Wow, pushing a pregnant person down the stairs. Pushing someone down the stairs in general is like an attempt on someone's life to a degree.
Now, there was another story where it was like, me and my boyfriend are like really bad terms right now. I'm pregnant and he did push me down the stairs. Should I break up with him?
Oh my God.
The real ones will remember that story. But
wow.
Yeah, some people will get that heavy into denial in these situations. And it sounds like, the husband isn't taking this seriously enough. So much so that, they could get actually pushed down the stairs and he's like, they're just kids. They don't know what they're doing. I don't care what the text messages said. Yeah. They're just little babies.
OP says to another comment here that, like, people wondering, so their mother conditioned them to act in her place. She allied them with her cause. And what would have happened if they had succeeded? Would your in-laws and your husband have acted surprised, saying they didn't know anything? That's failure to assist someone in danger, and it's very serious because they know everything. And OP's saying, that's something I don't understand. There was an attempt that didn't work, but say if it had, and our baby had died, what then? I know I would never be able to live with them knowing I let that happen. As it is, I feel so incredibly guilty for letting that attempt happen. Like,
this is what happens when you don't lay down the law on your kids. He allowed this to happen. If I'm being honest, he allowed this to happen. He allowed the attempt to happen. He didn't punish his kids. He didn't shut that shit down when he should have. This is also his fault. I'm sorry, but it is.
Yeah, I like at the age they're at. I mean, you've
11
got to
and 13
be...
is old enough to know.
Yeah,
No, I'm not accepting that.
They're old enough to know, like, what they're doing is wrong, but they're not old enough to be aware of the consequences that are coming their way. Like, you as the parent need to really point this out to them that you do this, you're old enough now that we can treat you as more than just someone who's just a blatantly ignorant little kid.
Yeah.
You're old enough now that I have every right. If you dare push this woman that I love down the stairs, I will throw you off the fucking house roof of the house. Like,
damn, Jack's going crazy.
I don't know,
tonight.
man.
No.
When the kids have been saying, so apparently another comment that I sort of skimmed through, Opie was saying that all the whole frick yous and all that kind of stuff, they were saying this in front of the husband to OP. This wasn't just behind the husband's back. So the husband is aware of the level of disrespect that she is experiencing from these kids.
And it doesn't sound like he shut it down.
Yeah.
He's just like, can you just chill out, or the pregnant woman, just chill out for a bit, huh? Just let it happen.
This is a valid take to disagree with. But in this case, I feel like a little bit of physical discipline from your parent is necessary here.
Well, in this case, that you can see the escalation happening.
Yeah.
Especially after the attempt. I'll say maybe with the comments of the FUs, maybe that's not enough to condone it. But after the attempt, absolutely, I condone it in that instance. You need to fear consequences. There needs to be shame, and there needs to be fear of anything dangerous like that. You do need to instill fear in those kids.
Shame shouldn't be something we should be ashamed of giving or receiving. Shame can be a very healthy thing if you know how to deliver it correctly.
Yeah.
Like, shame can be a very teaching moment for people, and I think we've turned shame into too much of a taboo to experience or to administer to people sometimes. And it's like, no, shame can actually be a very educational thing for people.
Yeah, because how else are you going to get the message across? Don't push my pregnant wife down the stairs.
Yeah.
How do we stop that? Oh, soft parenting approach for this.
Yeah, I think
she wouldn't like it.
Yeah, I think maybe the way he's been disciplining these kids has been too much in a way that these kids are interpreting it as, I would discipline you for like treating her this way, but I wouldn't do the same if you treated your own mother this way. I think he needs to really drill it into their heads that, like, if you were doing this to your own mother, I would discipline you just the same.
Yep.
Like, this isn't a case of like, this is a new woman in my life that I'm prioritizing. Like, no, this is my wife. You are like disrespecting my wife, this woman who is in your life. Like, I don't know. This is why I don't think I'd be a good parent. I'd want to whack them. I genuinely would want to whack them from this.
Down.
Yeah.
No, you I think if and when you get to that point, you'll find a healthy balance. I think when you want to become a parent like that, you'll do a lot of reading on what is appropriate and what is not appropriate. But I think this is a very extra situation to find yourself in that people do not find themselves in. So much so that it is a life or death situation. Their actions, unknowingly to them apparently, could cause the death of the child and cause the death of OP in this instance. I think there has to be an exception for things like this where if you don't have any other option that is going to show them, do not do this.
Yeah.
Maybe that's when you open that can of worms. But, as we are in a society right now, very much every other situation, do not hit your kid.
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
not good.
Like, obviously,
you
don't
want
hit your kid. Like, it's one thing to express the feeling of like how enraged you are. It's another to actually act on it, though.
Yeah, but I do wonder for special circumstances if you can condone it, if it's a life or death thing, if it's a genuine life or death.
I think if he was there in that moment and he saw it happening, yeah, of course, get physical with your child to actually get them away from the OP. Like, obviously, you have to punch them to get them away, but like just pull them away and like literally hold them so that they're restrained, so you can actually have control of the situation. But yeah, of course, yeah. Let's make it clear. Physical discipline on kids at any age that young is absolutely not okay, unless it again someone's life is
unless
or safety.
They started it. No, kidding.
The kid starts at the left, right, good night.
Here's your rights and equal lefts, kid. That's the one. No.
But yeah, I mean, like, it's just insane that they've gotten to this far and they still think it's okay to do this. That's just failed as a parent.
Shows you how powerful parental alienation is.
Yeah,
and that's why people take it so seriously, and that's why there is so much discourse around it.
Mm.
And a lot of the time, personal bias, I'm speaking out of my ass here, but I don't think the courts adequately address it enough. And it leads to
absolutely not.
situations like
Yeah.
this happening because
Yeah.
they don't have enough, I guess, levers in place to address parental alienation.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, it just sinks the ship. And then the kid wakes up when they're 18, 20, 25, and they're like, wait a second. The parent poisoning my mind is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I hate them.
Yeah.
And it's like, it takes that long.
Is this something I can personally relate to with my own late teenage years? No. I'm
not
not calling out any parents of mine for the way they twisted my perception of my own parents. No.
That would never happen.
No, I do find it, I feel like that's one of those things that, like, ironically, like, it's the thing that the justice system does do wrong, where it's like, yeah, they don't take parental alienation seriously because it's not life-threatening. The same way that they don't take, like, domestic abuse as seriously as they should, because half the time, like, they don't take it seriously until someone's actually dead or like physically been harmed. Right, when all the signs were there from the start. Well, hey, that person wasn't physically harming or threatening that person, so we legally can't do anything about it. Like,
Look, give us a call with the knives in your chest, all right?
Yeah.
Then we'll do
They
something.
wait till the woman's been stabbed by the husband before actually being like, oh yeah, I guess domestic abuse was a problem. Like,
Oh, what? He brandished the knife at you? Well, it wasn't in you, so there's not. Why are you calling us out here?
Oh, he wasn't letting you leave the house and was yelling at you from the doorway and that kind of stuff. Well,
What do you
that more,
expect us to
he
do?
was just talking to you. Like, okay, sure, but it was clear signs that there was,
Look, this is a domestic. It's like, obviously.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's the thing where it's like, hey, like feminists and men's rights activists, you actually all have literally the same issues that you all actually agree on. Let's, maybe be on each other's side.
Yep. Let's get into politics, Jack. Let's
Yeah,
change
let's
it.
get into politics
Hell
about
yeah,
it.
vote us for Australian.
I don't know. I just
politics.
always find that stuff fascinating. How, like, half the time the things that most politics that people complain about, you actually are on the same side. You're just coming out from different angles of like, hey, I want more respect in the court system. Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, it's like,
I hate the court system.
But you don't have the same gender as me, and it's about something that, like, some bad people from my gender calls onto you. Well, yeah. It's like, no,
That's it.
no, you...
And I hate what you have to say and everything you stand for. Okay, well, on the topic of everything we've been doing, let's wrap it up. I reckon.
All right, all right, I guess so. But we were just about to talk about political disparity and, like, the gender wars and stuff. Oh, I don't want to talk about that for the next 2 hours.
I love talking about
Yeah.
that. Hell yeah.
If there's one thing two white guys should have an opinion
Yeah,
on,
that's it. Two white guys with an opinion.
It's feminism.
I love feminism. I love feminists, guys.
It's feminism and our opinion of the court system.
Oh, we are very knowledgeable and smart.
Yes, because we get some reels on our feed sometimes that talk about them.
It's a man with glasses on, standing like this, being like, all women bad. I agree with him, dude. Mr. Tate, thank you so much for your wisdom.
I like the ones where, like, there be some posts that, like, are clearly just someone talking about their standards, like man or woman, but it turns out to be like a stitch. Where then someone comes in to talk about their opinion on that post and just completely imply that because that person has the audacity to just say that they want, like, they don't say all men or all women should be this. They just say, I'd like to date someone who is like this. And the next person who, like,
Literally
responds
Satan.
to that. Yeah, it's like, that person clearly likes little kids, or that person is clearly like the scum of the earth and she just uses men for their money. Like, no, that person is just saying they have a preference.
No, I would.
Then
I
don't
really
date
do.
that person. You know, it's not saying that that's how everyone should be in life.
What, you don't like Taco Bell? What, so fuck McDonald's? Is that what you're saying?
So what you're saying is Mexicans don't have human rights?
Yeah,
Huh?
what's going
Well,
on?
Yeah.
Yeah, what? Since when did I say that?
It's like every single time someone posts something on the internet, it's like that's their do or die belief of the whole world. Like, no, sometimes people just say stuff.
Like when I say, my initial read on the situation was this. You know what, Markee? You're a racist.
Shout out to the
shit.
comments on Marky's YouTube channel, who, when he says something that's like, I used to think this, but now I believe this from reading the comments. And someone in the comments says, oh, they said their original thought was this. Well, then they're scum of the earth. Markee,
Yeah,
scum of the
hate
earth,
you
because he
so
said
much.
he originally thought wrong.
I can't believe you had an original thought.
Yeah, I can't believe.
What's wrong with you?
I can't believe you had a thought that then changed based on new evidence and opinions from others that changed your mind. Because you had that original thought, though.
You're a real piece of shit,
Yeah,
buddy.
you're clearly the scum of the earth.
It's true, dude. I'm sorry.
I can't
Guilty
believe
as
you
charged.
learnt something.
God.
Oh.
I learned from my mistakes.
Yeah, but
Can
you
believe
had
it?
that mistake originally, so therefore you are immediately. There's no way you could redeem yourself.
No, and then further, like, I apologized for something else that I'd said.
Yeah, but like because you
previous to
still
that.
thought something. You didn't do something, but you thought it. See
A
how
lot of
that
these-
makes you still deserving to like not have any human like respect.
No, but like,
yeah.
on this one, a lot of these people still watching, they would have been like locked in for those comments as well. That was so funny. Like, I'm sure you guys remember. Like, I said it was a hot take from Twitter, and it was to do with like the education system is falling apart. And I said like reading comprehension is like really dying these days.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I saw this on Twitter. I didn't say that, but I just said I don't think that reading comprehension is like the same as listening to audiobooks, basically.
Yeah,
I said
yeah.
like, sometimes you do have to put the audiobook down and just like read a book, and that's a different skill to train and everything like that. But I worded it in a really bad way.
Oh,
a lot of
no.
people came for me in the comments and is saying it's very ableist of me to say that. That there's a lot of people that are like blind, and all they have the option is to listen to audiobooks or read Braille books and things like that. And I was like, yeah, and then I
That's
offered
true. That's a valid point.
that was like, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
I'm obviously an idiot, and I didn't think of that. So I
Yeah.
offered a retraction and an apology because I realized now my horizons have been broadened, and I'm sorry
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
Like, obviously reading comprehension and everything when you're just on the text is one specific skill, and audiobooks are another, but who's to say that you can't have both?
Yeah.
And I learned. And then a lot of people in the comments are like, no, Markee, I agree with you. You didn't have to apologize for that.
Oh my god.
People are trying to put young men into a box.
Oh,
and they
no.
and they have to apologize for everything.
Oh no.
So you should be proud to have whatever opinion you
Oh no.
You should be able to say these things. It's okay to be wrong sometimes, but don't let them silence you and make you apologize for everything you say. I was
Jesus Christ.
Man, this has been a saga.
Wow.
And I think I might remove that joke that I just made. I think that's a bridge too far.
Yeah, I think we're going into much of a very unnecessary rant right now. Let's just, we'll just end wait for it back.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good
Have
night.
a good one. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm going to sleep.
Yo.